I'm going to ask you to like and share this video before the powers of be, mainly the YouTube nation, and YouTube begins to shut it down because they're not going to like what I have to say tonight. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Yes, the pastor said, what the hell? According to what I have heard today, I've got to be blind. I brought my blindfold out for you all to see, because that is the only way we can follow Judge Cahill's orders if I were on a jury panel, and I've been on many. I couldn't find my earplugs. I looked for my otoscope. I couldn't find my otoscope to check my hearing. I brought out my stethoscope. I wanted to see if I was still alive and breathing. I must be a zombie. The jury must be zombies. I can hear my heart beating. I've got a pulse. And just to make sure, I even brought out the old reliable automatic speedometer. I want to check my pressure here and make sure I'm not among the living dead, a zombie. The jury, Judge Cahill gave these instructions. I am just baffled. We have waited for the end of this trial for a minute, and I listened to the closing statements. I could not believe what I was hearing. This man murdered George Floyd. Chad, there's no other way you can put it. You and I, John Q. Public. So I said, please like and share this video. Tag people you know. They're not going to like it. They're going to take it down. And I really don't care. At this point, having lived through the 60s, I have a problem with what I'm hearing today. Cahill said to the judge, here's what I need you to do. Don't be allowed to be prejudiced. Don't allow passion, sympathy, or public opinion to influence your decision as you deliberate on Chavez's fate. They've got to be blind. We all saw the video very clearly. We heard this man, George Floyd, begging for his life, saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I don't understand why this is a hard decision for America. This is no longer a black or white situation. This now weighs on humanity. If you heard that 9-minute video of a man pleading for his life, Chavez at least got the benefit of a defense. He got the benefit of a jury and a judge. But he decided that because I wear a badge, I now have the right to inflict upon this man his due process of law. I'm going to sentence you to death. Is that something? Because you wear a badge, where does your humanity overtake what you do? His defense attorney said that the crowd influenced him. According to the way he was trained, he's allowed to do this. Cesar, I have some viewers. I don't have this, at this moment. I cannot recognize you, but I really thank you for tuning in, and I hope you pass this along, because this injustice must stop. I lived through this nonsense in the 60s, and here I am, 2021, with the same nonsense. You don't want us to march. Oh my God, don't let me get started on Governor DeSantis. How in the devil do we not see why you signed this law into existence today? You signed it because you understood that this man, Chavez, is probably going to get away with murder. So now you want a legal right to stop us from marching, to stop us from coming out and saying, no more, when does this end? What the hell? What the hell? We're tired. I'm tired of it. I lived through the Jim Crow. I lived through all of the nonsense. And here we are now, begging to be treated as if we're human beings, like we have the right to exist in America. My husband fought in Vietnam. We lost a lot of young black people and young white men in a war that was set out for freedom of a particular country. And yet here we are in America with no freedom of our own. I appreciate my viewers that I have out there. Please like, tag, and share before they decide on the Facebook Nation and YouTube iteration that this is just too political for them. I really don't give a darn at this moment. At this particular time in my life, at 73, I have had it. We have marched. We have waited for a change to come. We've done the I have a dream thing. When do we stop? Say enough is enough. If you in your humanity, whether you're black, brown, whether you're Native American, whether you're Haitian, Jamaican, whether you're of American, we all came from somewhere. Contrary to Darwin's theory, we have a creator. We are all human beings. And all we're asking is that you stop murdering us as if we don't exist. I have to give my grandson, who's in his 30s, instructions, and my son, when you're stopped by the police, it doesn't matter if you have to say yes, sir, no, sir. Your objective is to get home. And I know the jail system. I worked in the county jail as a booking nurse, went all over the jail, and I understood. There were times that I asked the captain, why do you all speak to everyone as if they were murderers? And they said, well, Nurse Smith, the reason we do that is because we don't know who's who. And I saw what they had to deal with. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've actually been the chaplain for the Black Policemen's Association in the city of Fort Lauderdale. And I love the community actives, and I love how the policemen are trying to interact in the community. I love it. They're not all bad. But there are some people who put on a badge, and suddenly you decide that we don't need the judicial system. Oh no, you decided that you can be the judge, the jury, and you're going to sentence people to death. So what if Mr. Floyd had a $20 bill that was counterfeit? $20 is the value you place on a human life. And you don't really know if it was counterfeit or not. Now Mr. Floyd is being tried. He's been said to be a drug user, and he has a bad heart, and he was under the influence. No, drugs didn't kill him. I'm a nurse. I understand. If he was under the influence and drugs were beginning to overtake him, if he stopped breathing, they all have Narcan. Some citizens even have Narcan now because drug overdoses are so prevalent now. You're going to tell me that even when the EMTs arrived, you didn't have common sense enough to know the man is no longer moving? He's dead. He cannot resist anymore. He's begged for his life. You don't have enough sense when the crowd is saying, please don't do it. You got a 9-year-old child saying you're killing him. He can't breathe. The man is calling for his mother. Where's your humanity? Were you so incensed by trying to prove that you were in control and that you were the authoritative figure, and that no matter what they said and no matter what Mr. Floyd said, you were going to prove that you were the executioner? You were in control. You had the power. And obviously you did, because you took the man's life. Here's what I don't understand. You and I, as John Q. citizen, can injure a police officer. It's automatic death. Oh, because he's a policeman. But they don't have the same laws that when they murder citizens, they have to be held accountable. Oh no, they can lie and whatever they want to do to get out of it. And I know firsthand, I've had some personal experience with law enforcement agencies who just lie. They'll get on the stand. Excuse me, I'm real emotional on this issue, because I had a lot of faith in the judicial system. I had a lot of faith in the police departments. I have many relatives who have been police chiefs, who my daughter has just has just had her Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. She has just retired after 32 years wearing a uniform. She's been on the bicycle, been a patrol officer, drove a police car, rode a bicycle, did it all. Has been a detective, did it all. She has cousins that are detectives, that have been in the police department for a very long time. So I'm not biased or prejudiced against policemen. I want that to be understood. I was in the flea market a couple of years ago, and the young lady had a young baby, and the baby was acting real unseemly. And she said, see that policeman over there? I'm going to have him, he's going to take out his gun and shoot you. This kid was maybe 2. And I thought the uneasiness of the policeman, and I said, no, baby, that's not what they do. Because I don't want our children growing up to think that the people we rely upon are the people who are going to inflict damage or take our lives. That's not how it should be, people. And I don't understand why the jury, if they have any sense of humanity, could look at that video and hear that man pleading for his life and not come to the obvious conclusion that he was murdered. No, it wasn't justifiable homicide. He murdered Mr. Floyd. 9 minutes of torture. I've been in a position where I couldn't breathe. After being shot and both my lungs were collapsed, I understood what it felt like to have your lungs with all of your fluids that are just causing you to drown in your own fluids. You're gasping for air. But in my case, I was at the hospital in time where they could insert a chest tube, and they got me on a ventilator and took me to surgery. Mr. Floyd was begging for a breath. We heard the experts say that it even got down to a new in his fingers. They were trying to encourage his heart to beat, to get oxygen through his body. If you've never experienced that, it is something you do not want to ever have to be the person on the opposite end. Mr. Floyd was begging for his life, and Chavez decided, you don't deserve a trial. Don't deserve the benefit of a jury. You don't deserve to be heard by a judge. Because I'm wearing this badge, I have the right to murder you. What has America come to? It's bad enough we talked about reformation. This is the 3rd time. And DeSantis, we understand what you did. You foresaw that this policeman, as in the case of so many others, is going to lie and have others lie him out of what he did. Let me tell you what happened to me just recently. Last year, I had 5 discs in my neck that were fused together. After I came out of surgery, I went to a rehabilitation city. Yeah, I'm going to call the name because this is not alleged. This actually happened to me. Springtree in the city of Sunrise. I was actually assaulted by a nurse who came in and said she was going to change my bandage. Didn't even have a bandage, but I did have a brace on my neck that was to keep it in place. When I came out of surgery, the neurologist told my husband and my family that she did not expect me to ever use my right side again. However, this woman came in and she actually struck me on my incision 3 times. At the time, I weighed maybe 105 pounds, and I was not on the side that was allocated to rehabilitation. I was on the side that was really for nursing home victims, long care victims. And she assumed because I looked really bad. You can imagine a frail little black woman, 70 years old. I looked like I was vulnerable. And she probably figured that I could not express what she did. The woman struck me so hard and so fast on my neck, on the incision site, the cervical area, that my head bounced back and forth like a balloon. Well, having been an ICU nurse for 30 years, I immediately called the supervisor. My family just happened to be in there, and my husband was sitting on the bed, and I said, this woman has just assaulted me. As soon as the director came in and I said the word assault, she called the police. They came in, and immediately my family became the perpetrators. I knew what they were doing. They were circling the wagon as I had to be there. I did not want an unforeseen complication, such as my life being taken while I was a patient. Oh yeah, I had heard about it, but I never thought in a million years I would be the victim. I could not. It took me almost a year of rehab before I could even lift my neck, and I'm still in a lot of pain, and I have difficulty holding my neck up to this day. I called the police department, yes, the City of Sunrise Police. 3 officers showed up in the room. They never, and believe you me, it was a black officer that took the lead. They immediately began to make us the perpetrators rather than the victims. Circling the wagon, big corporation, little black woman doesn't have enough sense to complain. They're going to squish it right now. It's called professional courtesy. That's what they do. How do I know? I've been stopped many times doing double shifts, and on my way home, and my stethoscope in the window, and my nurse's cap in the back, because in ICU we didn't have to wear them. But as soon as they recognized I was a nurse, immediately I didn't get a ticket. Tired, on my way home, they just told me to slow it down, Nurse Smith, and enjoy your day. Professional courtesy. I knew what they were doing, but what she did violated me in every sense of the way. The last time I was violated like that, it was by an ex-husband who ended up shooting me, so I didn't take that too lightly. Everyone came in, the director of nurses, she began to, oh, if you were assaulted, we have to report this. And believe you me, it got reported to everyone. They never gave me a card with a case number. Kill a dog, and you're arrested immediately. Strike an old black woman in a nursing home, they presume, and if we make it more difficult, it'll just go away. Imagine to my horror when I couldn't even get a police report. I called them several times. It took 9 months of me calling and them telling me, oh, we don't have a record. I showed up in the police station and I said, just before COVID, I need you to go back on your CAD or give me someone in charge because I need a copy of what transpired that day. They didn't know I knew about the CAD. I knew about the CAD. People, make yourselves aware of everything that goes on in the police department. It will benefit you. The detective or whatever he was, I wish I had the papers in front of me, Perello, I believe that was his name, Officer Perello. If I'm not pronouncing it, it's because I really don't remember without seeing it, but he immediately became hostile, as if I dared aggravate them. I have been violated. This woman actually struck me. I was an elderly black woman that weighed maybe 105 pounds. I was frail and fragile, and they assumed that I wasn't going to make any noise. If we make this difficult, it'll just go away. And believe you me, they did, and they're still doing it. COVID came in and interrupted my entire flow, and being ill and trying to recuperate and trying to recover, you really have to put things in perspective. I wrote letters to the captain. I was assigned 2 detectives, one other officer. They're actually called, I believe they're called policemen. They had finally went to the CAD and brought out the paper that directly said that my family reported abuse. When I got in the room with this Perello, I'm not going to even give him police title, he became immediately hostile and began interrogating me, asking me, why do you want it? What took you so long? Why didn't your husband come and get it? Why did you do this? What do you intend to do with it? Like he was in a courtroom. And he's interrogating me. He was so hostile that I immediately said to him, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, sir. I'm not answering your questions. We got out front, and in front of everyone else in the lobby, and the person that was on the desk, he wanted to shake my hand. Little did I know, when he gave me the report, he actually attached a paper that said under sworn testimony at even the slightest indication that he was committed perjury and would be tried. This man actually said, by the way, her husband wants nothing to do with this. I wrote the captain and I said, in what form of the conversation do you think that I would say, oh, by the way, my husband doesn't want anything done about anyone violating me. He wants nothing to do with this case. Why would I even say that? This man put this on paper and swore to it. I wasn't satisfied, and when I felt better, I penned another letter to the police chief, who gave me another detective. They all thought that, I guess they thought it didn't matter, that I ought to drop it. I reported it to the people that for abused children and elderly. I called the state. When I called the state, they told me, oh yeah, but they did a thorough investigation, and I can't tell you the conclusion. I said, well, they couldn't have, because I was a party that was violated, and no one came to me. Oh, well, I can't discuss with you what happened. Wrote another letter to the chief. I've got copies of it. Chief of Police, Sunrise Police Department. Gave me another detective who laughed and talked with me and took my report, took my statement, and God, if he did not pretend that he was, oh, Miss Pastor Smith, you know, thank you so much, just carried on a conversation as if we were old friends. I'm respectful, so I treated him in the same manner that I wanted to be treated in. When I got the report that this detective wrote, I was literally shocked. By this time, COVID was in full bloom, and I was telling this man, I'm praying for you and the family and praying for the police. You all be careful out there. This man wrote such a negative aspect of the entire event. So I'm telling you, when you hear these policemen take the stand and begin to testify their testimony, I now will question every time they get on the stand. These people that are to protect and serve are the biggest liars. And they do it under oath without even cracking a smile. They look so professional and so stern that you will believe every word that comes out of their mouth. These people are the biggest liars. Give me a person on the street that I know right up front what they are, and I can deal with that. But these people that are liars, yes, Stacy Cleopatra, Tamar Tarver, Dump Kaiser, Ingrid Wilcox, you all know the story, Brandy Wilcox, you know I'm not a liar, Kay Kaiser, Ashley Monroe, you all know I'm telling the gospel truth. This happened to me. This happened to me. They are liars. They don't care about you. They have an allegiance and an alliance that only protects them and those who are in the Goliath capacity. Thinking that John Q. Public, we little people, we don't matter, crush them, lie, steal, cheat, whatever we have to do, we're going to do it to cover them. So in this case, Chavez, you murdered this man, you murdered Floyd, and I don't see how they cannot come back with a conviction. They need to resign from the human race. You're no longer human. And these directions that the judge gave them is absolutely ludicrous. How could you not have passion? And do not be fooled. The fact that Chavez took his mask off today, people were saying, oh, he's spreading COVID. No, that wasn't the reason, people. It was to give the jury an impression that they're looking at a human being. He's got the sympathy look today. You didn't have the sympathy look when you were murdering Mr. Floyd. Don't be fooled, people. And I don't care what DeSantis says. As old as I am, I marched in the 60s and I'll be out front. If I die, let me die on the battlefield. If I perish, let me perish. We cannot sit by any longer and allow these people to murder us. We're human beings with human rights. Was the First Amendment created just for a particular group of people? I know at the time it was, but what about now in 2021? We are still in the same struggle. Now, the judge even had the audacity, McCall, to talk about Congresswoman Maxine Waters. What she said. People of a different persuasion and who have different rights can say whatever they want to do. Even on the First Amendment, there's a clause that forbids you for inciting a riot. She did nothing to incite a riot. Can't say the same about 45. Told the people he'd be out front with them. You see, the coward wasn't. People went in and tore down the Capitol. Where was the National Guard? Killed a police officer. Where's the trial? They weren't tried in the court of public opinion. Oh, no. You can overtake the Capitol, and that's okay. But those of us who are marching, protesting peaceably, all we want you to do is see us as being human beings. DeSantis, you signed a law. All you've done is given them a legal right to kill us in the street. Yes, that's what you've done. And they know it. They will lie. They will do whatever they have to do. They will kill and say, oh, my camera was off. I was threatened. Even with Mr. Floyd, Mr. Chavez, his closing remarks, the attorney, I know he's entitled to a defense, something he didn't give Mr. Floyd. This man actually said, oh, he was under duress. The crowd made him feel threatened. So you're telling me, as a citizen, you can stop me for anything, and I'm going to be tried in the streets based on something that is going around in the atmosphere. Whew. Defense attorney said that he was actually acting in the scope of his training. So you want us to believe that you've been trained to not use common sense. You've been trained that no matter what you do to the detainee who's not resisting, who you have face down on the ground, who's telling you they can't breathe, because the crowd was telling you he can't breathe. You were so threatened and distracted that they gave you the right to murder Mr. Floyd. My God, his life was only worth $20. And you had the audacity to try to justify it. There is a greater judge. And whether you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution or not, we're all going to face him one day. Yeah, you think because you're in a position of power and authority in this realm that you've gotten away with it. But that doesn't go for only police officers. That is for all of us who treat other human beings as if they don't matter. You're not being threatened. The man was subdued. He wasn't moving. The only thing that was moving was his two fingers trying to will his body to breathe. We have no regard for human life. But there's a greater judge. Yeah, there is. And when you stand before him, I'm mighty afraid that a whole lot of us who think that we're the race that is in control, that we have the right to treat other people as if they don't matter. And believe you me, I'm not a racist by any means. Oh no. When integrating the school system started, if it had not been for two Caucasian people, I wouldn't be here today. As a matter of fact, you can go further back in slavery. If it had not been for the underground people who took it under their authority to help get us free, none of us would be here today. There's always been someone who said, I'm going to stand for what's right. And even today, there are some Caucasians, some Native Americans, some Hispanics who are all on the front line, and they're saying enough is enough. We're tired of seeing people being hunted down. You're jogging, you're black, can't even jog, you'll be shot down by citizens who take it upon themselves to become the judge, the jury, and the executioners. Sad part about it is they'll probably get away with it. It's reality. It's been happening all the time. The amount of money that they paid Breonna Green's family can't bring her back. Oh no. Sandra Bland, young woman in Texas, educated, dragged out of a car, tossed to the ground, and mysteriously a sane woman committed suicide in a jail cell, and we're expected to believe that, and it's okay. We're so tired. We're tired of begging. Just tired of it. We're no longer going to beg you for anything. The violence, take it back by violence. I'm not telling anyone to be violent. Obey the law. But we have got to stand in unison. When we're in unity and in unison, it is one voice being heard. It doesn't matter what color, what race you deem yourself. We're all part of the human race. And not this time. We're saying not this time. I heard that 9 minutes. I saw it. Can't justify it. And those policemen who were sitting by, who were silent, in my opinion, and we're all entitled to our opinion, you were just as guilty as Chavez. There is a young black woman in New York right now who was fired because one of her co-workers had this young man in a chokehold and she pulled him off. They fired her. She lost her pension. Now she gets her day in court. The man that did it got a pension. Now she's going to get hers. It's just amazing that you wear a uniform that says, I'm going to protect and serve. You take an oath. Who are you serving? Who do you protect? You serve that thin blue line, and that's who you protect. You know they're guilty, yet you protect them. When America is enough, people, when the verdict comes in, if it's not in the favor that you think, I'm begging you, don't riot, don't loot. Peacefully protest. I'm just thinking back over all of the incidents that I've known in my life, getting spit on. But as I told you before, when we integrated the school system, there was 12 black people in a sea of Caucasians. I was among the people with the highest IQ in an all-black school. Wasn't that we didn't have the tools, the books that we got were torn out, written over, and we had the best of teachers. But there were some things I simply had not been taught. 2 Caucasians took me under their wings. One was Mr. Hofstetter, my homeroom teacher. I'm eternally grateful. I wish I could find out what happened to him. And the other was Carmen Longo. She came from a very well-to-do family. They owned an ice company that is now defunct, I believe, downtown Fort Lauderdale. Didn't care what the others thought. Carmen befriended me, took me under her arms, and whenever there was something I didn't know, Carmen took the time to explain it to me, while others were throwing spitballs, while we had to stand up on the way to school. If we fought for ourselves, we were the ones that got suspended. We paid a terrible price for our young men and women to sit in school and now act like idiots. You no longer have to be a nurse or a secretary. You can be an engineer. You can be whatever you want to be. And yet you don't take advantage of it. I'm grieved. You don't know the price that was paid. Other people have been tarred and feathered. They've been hung. Properties have been stolen. People have been made to run off and leave their land simply because they wanted the right to vote. And yet we don't utilize it. God Almighty. And we get people like DeSantis and 45 who don't give a darn about people of color. And DeSantis is a person of color. But he's so interested in making a dollar. While you all were talking about you're not going to get the vaccine, my people now I'm talking to, you didn't see the fact that he started giving the vaccine over in John Knox Village. You know where that is? Those of us in the medical field, we know where it is. He could have gone anywhere, any nursing home, but he went to John Knox first. That's where all the rich retirees reside. Yeah, you make sure they get theirs first. And you went to Publix, and we didn't have the insight to see that you were paying off people who paid for you. Wake up, people. Things are happening right under your nose. You don't see it. You won't get the vaccine. You're waiting to see what's going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to keep dying. Didn't get us with slavery. Didn't get us with Jim Crow. Didn't get us with sharecropping. Didn't get us with drugs, even though you dropped them off in our neighborhoods. You didn't get us when you caused us to kill each other, even though you're the ones that's supplying all of these assault weapons. God knows we can't afford them, but we're killing each other. And we can't see that it's a setup. I'm crying tonight because my spirit man is saying, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? When is enough, America? When is enough? Hitler did what he did because of the silence of many. When you're silent, you're just as guilty as the person who's doing it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You can't hide behind that anymore. I see in almost every family, there's 2 or 3 children who are mixed with some other kind of blood. Eventually, we're going to have a nation of all brown people. Then what? America, let's get it right. Let's tell the policemen that we're watching you, and it will no longer be tolerated business as usual. We are watching you. America, wake up. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Yes, I said, what the hell? What the hell? Wake up. I'm angry. I'm grieved. My spirit is vexed because I'm just tired. I picked cotton at 4 years old. Never been afraid of hard work. I don't think anything is a free ride. But when we are simply being law-abiding citizens, traffic stops, and you can kill us and get away with it because they'll lie and cover it up. Ooh. Every police officer, every deputy, you ought to tell your partner, I'm not the one. You won't do it on my watch. When you begin to police your own, when we begin to see that you are honest, we can trust you again. Until then, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? I said it! What the hell? Pastor C. Hope Smith, share this video, like it, and for God's sake, pass it along. Every American citizen ought to be outraged. And if you're not, that same little Caucasian or Hispanic, I don't know if he was Hispanic or Caucasian, little 13-year-old that was shot and killed, when he very clearly saw the gun that they say he had over the fence. Wasn't a threat to anyone. Police officer that knows the difference between a taser and a gun. You've been in office a long time. You don't know the difference between a taser and a gun? What the hell? They tell you to get out a taser. I'm a citizen. But I've held the gun in my time. I've held a taser. They don't even feel the same. Even in excitement, you know the difference. What was the safety? Didn't have one on? Guess that was in the training manual as well. What the hell? What the hell? Wake up, America. I'm over. I'm out. I need to go take a shower and wash this stench off me. I'm frustrated and I'm tired. What the hell? What the hell? Like and share before the powers that be decide that my content is just too violent. They will censor it. But God will have the final say so. And you're going to find out what hell is really all about. Good night, and what the hell. The jury's decision. And I'm praying that no other lives will be lost. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be on the front line with a peaceful assembly. That's my right. I did it in the 60s, and I'm prepared to do it again. I'm just tired. What the hell? Good night. Good night. My God, good night.